Hey guys, DM Philosopher here, Matt's the name. Just going to go over my latest pack here. What we've got is an underground Dwarven Gatehouse. So it's a gatehouse and it's underground, so it's part sort of where the Dwarven fortifications meet the rough part of town as such. So let's jump in and have a look at this. So this is a defensive fortification designed to control any sort of advance by enemies or something like that, or to give friendly people a good eyeballing before they can sort of arrive at the Dwarven kingdoms as such. So we've got two ways in. We've got two ways in on the left here, and they both sort of come around. There's a rope and wooden bridge here, obviously designed to be cut very easily, much like this rope and wood bridge here. So if the dwarves are feeling hard up against it, then they can cut those just to make life a little bit more difficult. There's a large drop from the main cave platforms, and the drop is filled with spikes. So sharpened stakes are driven into the ground. So you can see that if people were approaching, then it's not going to be easy, because the dwarves can, through a use of tactics and strategies and different weapons, attack on the approach. The walls all along here have arrow slits through them, so that they can fire from there easily and see all the approaching enemies. And with magic and other types of weaponry, they could push large groups off into these spikes. So a pretty nasty approach. There's changes of direction, so that they can't be sort of charged in a single or covered in a single round. So yeah, you got a horrid time attacking there. The main entranceway to this fortification, or the gate as such, is this door here. And anybody who has gotten through the door, whether friendly or enemy, has to go through this corridor here, which is again got fire portals and spear holes and something like that in it, just to again make it very, very difficult. There's an armory here, and this section of the defensive fortification is accessed through this door here, and this part of the defensive fortification with a sort of a common hall and more weapon racks, and sort of this part here looks out this way, and they also sort of man this area here that's accessed through this door here. So you know, an enemy has a lot of opportunities to be shot and stabbed on their approach through this gatehouse. There's enough seating here for 80 odd dwarves, I think I counted, or 60 odd dwarves. So while you've got some manning the holes as watch, there's a larger contingent just waiting here, relaxing and the like, just to man all the available holes and to take on any offenders. There's the main door here that carries on through to the Dwarven caverns as such. Now the style of these entranceways are very similar to my mines maps, and the exit here is very similar to my Dwarven readouts. So this can all be connected together if you so choose. But this is the daytime, this is the dark gridded map. We've got the dark gridless map, the light gridded map, and the light gridless map. And as per usual with my products, I've got my point of view shots to make great player aids, and they sort of step through the environment. So this is coming in through the uppermost left hand entranceway, and that's the southernmost entranceway, and this is back in the southern entranceway coming in, and that's the northern entranceway there. So basically you work your way around to the first rope bridge, and you can see all of the spikes there. I was debating whether to leave that dark or not, but I figured that the dwarves would want to intimidate their enemies to discourage and create mayhem, all whilst under fire from their crossbows. So I've put some lights down there for that particular purpose. Now I've got dark, these are dark point of view shots, so they're taken as if as they're lit in by the torches, but I've got the same point of view shots in a light version. Now I've got the light version and the dark version to dictate day or night, but really because this is underground, you could use it as handouts for those with dark vision and those without dark vision. So that plays in quite nicely to the whole underground vibe. So you can see as we step through the fortifications, you've got it between out of all these portals. You can definitely take a shot. This is down at the end. So this is the other part of the defensive fortification, and there's the armory down the bottom. So you can see that there's definitely a nice clear lookout to anybody approaching and so on. So here's what I was talking about. So exactly the same point of view shots, but just taken with no nighttime filter, no dark filtering on the shots. So you can see that pretty much they step through the whole fortification, give you lots of visual aids. So that is the underground Dwarven Gatehouse, and that can be found on RPG Now. I'll make sure I post a link to that underneath my YouTube clip. But slowly I'm accumulating a wealth of maps to do with the underground world. So I might start to explore some natural caverns and maybe the drow and something like that later, or drow, depending on how you like to say it. So that is the underground Dwarven Gatehouse. I hope you enjoy that. I hope it's starting to give you a good variety of maps for the underground world, and it enhances your gameplay. So thanks for listening, and happy gaming, people.